Imagine you are scrolling through old photos on your phone at midnight, and suddenly you stop on one from 5 years ago. A weird, warm feeling hits your chest, like someone just wrapped you in a soft blanket. You whisper to yourself, "Man, things were so much better back then." But wait a second. Were things actually better? Or is your brain playing a trick on you? Today, we're diving into one of the strangest features of the human mind, nostalgia. And here's the twist. Scientists believe this feeling isn't just a cute side effect of memory. They think it's actually a survival tool, hardwired into you by evolution itself. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at an old memory the same way again. Let's start with a strange word from the 1600s, nostalgia. Believe it or not, this word was invented by a doctor, not a poet. In 1688, a Swiss physician named Johannes Hofer coined the term to describe a strange sickness. He noticed Swiss soldiers fighting far from home were getting weak, sad, and even physically ill. They weren't wounded by swords or bullets. They were wounded by homesickness. Hofer combined two Greek words, nostos, meaning homecoming, and algos, meaning pain. For centuries after that, doctors actually treated nostalgia as a disease. Some military doctors even believed it could be deadly if left untreated. But today, scientists see nostalgia in a completely different light. Instead of a disease, they now believe it's one of your brain's most clever tools for survival. So how exactly does remembering the past help you survive the present? Let's talk about a sneaky mental glitch called the rosy retrospection effect. This is your brain's tendency to remember past events as better than they actually were. In 1997, psychologists Terence Mitchell and Lee Thompson ran a fascinating experiment on this exact idea. They studied 3 groups of people: students on a trip, tourists on vacation, and people on a bike tour. Before the trip, participants predicted the trip would be great. During the actual trip, most people rated their daily experience as just okay, with some annoying moments. But when researchers asked them to look back on the trip weeks later, something strange happened. Their memory of the trip became far more positive than their experience actually was in real time. In other words, your brain doesn't store the past like a video camera. It stores the past more like a highlight reel, editing out the boring or annoying parts. So when you say things were better back then, your brain might just be a very biased editor. But why would evolution build a brain that lies to us like this? Here's the wild part. This lie might actually be helping you survive. Psychologist Konstantin Set, one of the world's leading nostalgia researchers, has spent decades studying this. His research found that nostalgia isn't just a pleasant feeling. It actually works like emotional first aid when people feel lonely, stressed, or uncertain about life. Nostalgia kicks in like a mental safety net. SETI kids found that thinking about happy memories can boost your mood, increase your sense of meaning, and even make you feel less lonely. It's like your brain keeps an emergency stash of good memories. Just in case things get hard, think of nostalgia like a mental battery charger. When life drains you, nostalgia plugs you back in and restores your motivation. This is why people often feel nostalgic during hard times, like breakups, big life changes, or even global crises. In fact, researchers noticed a huge spike in nostalgic content during the COVID-19 lockdowns. People rewatched old shows, looked at old photos, and talked about simpler times more than ever before. That wasn't a coincidence. That was your brain's built-in coping mechanism turning on at full power. Now, let's talk about another sneaky brain trick that fuels this whole nostalgia machine. It's called the fading affect bias. Basically, negative emotions attached to memories fade faster over time than positive ones. So a bad breakup that felt devastating 5 years ago might feel like a distant, almost funny story today, but a fun memory from that same time period, like a road trip with friends, stays vivid and warm. Over years, this creates a strange effect where your overall memory of the past feels sunnier than it truly was. Scientists believe this bias exists because dwelling on negative emotions for too long isn't good for survival. Our ancestors needed to learn from painful events, but they also needed to move forward and keep functioning. If our ancestors stayed frozen in grief or fear forever, they wouldn't have been able to hunt, protect their families, or reproduce. So the brain evolved a clever shortcut: keep the lesson, but soften the pain. This is also why grandparents often say the good old days were simpler and happier. It's not that the past had no problems, it's that their brains filtered out most of the pain over time. So nostalgia isn't really about the past being better. It's about your brain protecting your mental health by softening old wounds. But nostalgia does more than just make you feel good. It also helps you connect with other people. Sedekids and other researchers found that nostalgic memories almost always involve other people. Think about it. When you feel nostalgic, are you usually remembering your job or your childhood friends? Exactly. Nostalgia pulls you toward memories of family, friendships, and belonging. Scientists believe this happens because social bonds were crucial for survival throughout human history. A human alone in the wild thousands of years ago had a much lower chance of survival than a human in a group. So nostalgia acts like an emotional reminder. Hey, remember these people who matter? Go strengthen those connections. This is why nostalgic feelings often push people to reconnect with old friends or call up family members. Nostalgia isn't just comforting, it's quietly repairing your social safety net. There's also a psychological concept tied to all this called continuity of self. Basically, nostalgia helps you feel like you're the same person you were years ago, even as life changes rapidly. In a world that constantly changes, jobs shift, cities grow, relationships evolve. Nostalgia acts like an anchor. It reminds you of your identity, your roots, and your story. And that sense of identity is deeply tied to mental resilience. Studies have shown that people who engage in healthy nostalgia tend to handle stress better and feel more optimistic about the future. That's right, thinking about the past can actually help you feel more hopeful about tomorrow. It sounds paradoxical, but nostalgia isn't really about escaping the present. It's about gathering emotional strength from your past to face whatever is coming next. Of course, like any tool, nostalgia can be used the wrong way. If someone gets stuck constantly comparing their present life to an idealized past, it can lead to sadness or dissatisfaction. Psychologists call this maladaptive nostalgia. When the past becomes a hiding place instead of a helpful memory, the key difference is whether nostalgia is used as fuel to move forward or as an excuse to stay frozen. So here's the wild truth about nostalgia. It's not proof that the past was actually better. It's proof that your brain built an emotional survival system, one that softens pain, keeps your identity intact, and pulls you back toward the people who matter. Every time you feel that warm, nostalgic pull, you're not just remembering the past, you're witnessing millions of years of evolution quietly taking care of you. So maybe the good old days weren't perfect, but your brain's ability to remember them fondly, that might be one of the most beautiful survival tools you own. And maybe that's the real lesson here. We don't long for the past because it was flawless. We long for it because somewhere in those memories, we felt safe, connected, and alive. And maybe the real magic isn't going back to those moments. It's learning how to create new moments today that your future self will one day look back on with that same warm, golden glow.